In the cold months, we almost exclusively heat our tiny home with wood. We collect and process it all ourselves. This stack of 4 bush cord would cost $1,600 Canadian to order in. That's a lot of money, but by doing it ourselves, that same stack cost us $150. And this coming winter, we'll only use the first row till maybe about here. So obviously I'm prepared for this winter, but homesteading isn't about being just prepared, it's about being overly prepared. That's why today I'm gonna harvest some firewood and I'm gonna share with you the way we process it. So this is the designated firewood processing area. I've got chippings on the ground so it stays nice and clean. You can see I've got my extra wood stacked over here that I couldn't fit behind the house. I've got crappy wood that I'm using for outdoor fires. And this is where I stack all the logs that I cut. That way I can process them. But I have some stuff that I can collect that has already fallen. So I'm not gonna cut it into logs. I think I'm just gonna buck it up. My goal today is to harvest wood that's already fallen instead of felling fresh trees. You can see that we have a large poplar that's hanging here, and it's been like this for about a year now. I'm hoping it's still nice and dry, not punky on the inside, but there is a dangerous section to it. And I don't think I'm gonna harvest this today. It's still about 12 feet off the ground on this side, and you can see it's hanging on a far tree over there. It would be a little bit too difficult and too technical to harvest this stuff easily today. So I'm not gonna worry about it, especially because it's fairly dangerous. For now, I'm just gonna process this log. I also have some maple that has fallen over there that we're gonna get to as well. This reliable sucker is about 45 years old and still kicking it. I did just replace the chain and bar a couple weeks ago because I really wore that out. I plan on getting a larger saw later, maybe something like 391, but this thing is working great for now. My plan for this is to keep it off the ground. I'm gonna buck it from this end that way it slowly settles. So it's going good so far. I was worried about the wood, but it looks pretty good. It's not super punky. I did bring a moisture meter so we can actually see how it is. So here is our moisture meter. I'm gonna turn it on and let's see. So 35, around 40%. So it is still wet, but at least it's not rotting. So I'm gonna buck up the rest of this tree and then we'll head on to the next stage. So now that it's all bucked up, it's time to move it. This trailer is just some crappy old yard trailer that someone made, and I just put some new plywood on it. That way it's actually secure. Don't get me wrong, collecting wood does take a long time, and you do need the right equipment to do it, which is really just a chainsaw and a wood splitter. But you save quite a bit of money. In our case, you save over $1,000 a year on our heating cost, but you also have a skill that's forever useful. So we'll stack our logs here. I'm going to collect all of them and then we'll move on to the next stage. Before I show you our next step of processing, I want to show you our steps of burning. Hey Sadie. Yeah. Also, I think we should let the chickens out today. It's a really hot day and it's best when they forage when I'm home. So let's let them do their thing. Come on, chickies. I'm really happy with our chicken coop right now. The thing's amazing. I do have some things that I have to do to it. We are about to have a predator problem and I've been staying on top of it, but stay tuned because I have to make some changes. So as you know, we keep our wood right behind the house for easy access. This makes it super easy because every day I can just grab an armful of wood and that's enough for the day. I don't require a machine or anything to grab it from far away in large quantities if it were, say, over at our wood processing. Those of you watching the channel for a while know that we heat our home in the winter with our small wood stove. It's not incredibly efficient, but it works great. We got it off Marketplace for 300 bucks, and it has a very small firebox, but that is fine. We're not looking to create a rager in here, considering our tiny home is quite small. I keep most of our wood on this thing that I made right next to the fireplace. But because we have such dry wood this year, actually let's check the moisture content of this. Because we have such dry wood this year, I am worried about it being so close to the stove. Previous years, it didn't matter because the wood wasn't as dry, it was quite wet. So there'd never be a problem. But let's see what it's getting on this wood. So 12%. It's nice and dry, but it's not too dry. Some of the wood outside I know is less than 10% dry, which is very dry. So that being said, I think I may have to make some sort of shield here to protect the wood from spontaneously combusting. Honestly though, it's probably gonna be fine. We do love our fireplace. Comment below and let me know what you guys use to heat your home all winter long. In our case, it's a wood stove with a backup of electric heat. Let me know what yours are in the comment below. The next step to our wood processing is under here. A wood splitter is one of the best pieces of equipment you can own on a homestead. We've had this particular one for over 10 years and it just plain works. It has never broken down. It always just runs and it's done countless cords of wood. And just like that, she works. You can see it really doesn't take long to split with this. Typically what I'll do is I'll go harvest the wood like we saw earlier. I'll bring it over and cut it into its size like this and stack it nice and neat. Then what I'll do is I'll split everything that's already cut into size, and I'll just keep splitting and splitting and splitting until I run out of room and I have a large pile of wood. At that point, I'll either let it dry in place while it's all in a heaping pile, or I'll move it to behind the tiny home like we did earlier. And honestly, I'm early this year. This year is the earliest I've ever completed our firewood storage. My whole life, I always finish this in late October, even late November, and it always comes down to time, and you always end up having not very dry wood, wood with snow on it, that sort of thing. So this year I'm really proud that it's all stacked, it's all done. I have enough time to go gather more wood. Even though I don't need it right now, I can at least start collecting it and drying it out for the coming years. Heading down our trails in the forest here, you can see that there's a ton of trees leaning and broken. Look at that. It's because we had that huge winter storm at the beginning of spring this year, and it took down a ton of trees, especially hardwoods. It took down a lot of maple and birch. So I've got a lot that have already dropped that I can take care of. I can come in here, cut them up. I don't have to drop any good growing trees just yet. So there's lots of fuel. Also, what do you guys think of our arbor? Our arbor is at the entrance to our tiny home here. Some of you may remember I built this for our wedding. This was our wedding arbor above us as we got married. And I thought I might as well put it to good use. So I put it at the entrance to our tiny home, and I really love it. It's cedar and it's strong. It's actually not even posted into the ground. I just have it on some wood. So it may rot eventually, but I don't really care. It's in a good spot for now, but let me know what you think about it. I can't wait for vines to grow on it, for the snow to be staying on it, and I may even put some Christmas lights come December. You probably noticed that we burn a lot of birch. Technically, birch is a hardwood, but it doesn't have a ton of power behind it. There's not a ton of fuel inside the wood that creates a ton of heat compared to other hardwoods, but it works really well for us because it is plentiful. You can see that it is everywhere. It's always leaning, falling in on itself, eventually collapsing. So I like harvesting that stuff first, just because it is gonna fall over and die anyway. I might as well cut it down, get rid of it. I try to find some maple here and there, but in our forest, we have a lot of pine and a lot of spruce and cedar. And I would rather leave the maples where they are because they're such beautiful, strong trees that last a long time. So I try to cut down the aspen or the poplar because it just kind of collapses on itself. It grows so fast and then it collapses. So that's why we have a lot of poplar, we have a lot of birch in our wood. It doesn't create as much heat in the long run. It doesn't burn as long, but it's still wood. It still works great. It's free. I'm making sure that's not collapsing and taking down other trees or even our equipment or our home. So that's what we're using for now. I also know there's a huge debate among people who heat their homes on which side you should flip your wood on. When I stack, I do bark on the bottom. That way the moisture can rise out of the wood. I know that it has a harder time when bark's on top for the moisture to escape, but I'm not a firewood scientist. I don't know exactly. So I'm curious what your guys' opinion is on this. Do you like to stack bark on the bottom, bark on top? Do you like to stack in rows? Do you like to stack in those hut style circular areas? I've been getting a good laugh lately to some of the comments on my videos, especially regarding firewood for heating our homes with wood. A lot of people have been saying that, oh, it must take an entire forest to heat your home with wood. It's incredibly destructive. But the fact of the matter is that wood is a renewable resource. It is something that grows on its own. You do not need an entire forest to supply yourself with wood for heat. In fact, the 4 bush cord that we split this summer to heat our home for the next 3 years isn't much more than those white birches behind me. It really isn't much wood at all. And as a matter of fact, that wood, a lot of it was just fallen birches from the storm we had earlier this spring. We didn't even have to cut down live trees to be able to supplement our home with heat. We didn't have to do that today either. Now, of course I can do that. There's lots of trees here, but I'm very selective about it. It's funny that the people who have the most opinions are people who have never done anything at all. I'm more than happy to answer questions regarding my experience and educate people. We all got to start from somewhere, but when you come running in with an opinion saying that burning wood is incredibly destructive, that's just not the case. It's a renewable resource. It's all around us, and it's pretty silly. The reason I'm saying all this is because, as I'm sure you've noticed in the past 5 years, the past 25 years, we've really become disconnected with our cultures, where our food comes from, where our resources come from, and that's just a part of it, I think. That's where we get all these opinions that we see with people who have never even tried what they're talking about, which is totally fine. But my goal is to share with you guys my experiences, what I know about things like how we heat our home, how we built our tiny home from scratch, all the skills that we're learning on our homestead to get us to be as self-sufficient as possible. We will never be 100% self-sufficient. We'll still go to Costco, we'll still go to the grocery store, we'll do all these things, but we're finding the balance that we love, and we're gonna share what we know with you guys so that you can learn from it too. So my point is, I'm always gonna share what I'm learning. That way you guys can grow from it as well. So I really appreciate you watching to this point. And if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do that and give me a thumbs up as well. And next video, we'll be working on something really cool. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. And I'm really happy that we're ahead this year on Firewood. Until the next video, I'll see you then.